Hello, and welcome to part 2 of the application. This is where we create a sample major program plan and timeline. This part of the process can be pretty confusing, so I just wanted to do a step-by-step video. If you prefer to read, you can just follow the directions step-by-step. Some people like to follow along, so we're going to do that as a video. The first part of the process is just asking you to download Microsoft Word. If you don't have Word on your computer, make sure you can download it for free from the U of M IT website, or you can use a U of M computer lab. What's really important is that you use Word for this part because we're going to edit a Word document. Please don't use Google Docs or anything like that, any other program, and you'll see why as we get going. So download the Word document for your intended major. So whichever major you're applying for, click on that. I'm going to do StratCom for this example, but you can use whatever. I'm going to open it up. And then right away, I'm going to rename it. So I'm going to go to File, Save As, and then I'm going to name it last name, first name, and then I'm going to put program plan so that I always know that I'm editing my program plan. I choose to save it to my desktop. And I'm going to go to save there, and I can see it right there. I can see my titles changed. We're good to go. So this is a frozen Word doc, and it has these editable sections in gray. So make sure to add your information right away at the top. Obviously add your own information, and then follow along. So think of this as a worksheet. It's going to go step by step, and the instructions should be very clear, but there's just a lot of them. So there are 13 courses total for the major. We already know from the info session there are 37 credits, which break down into those 13 courses. For strategic communication, 5 of them are required, and they're already circled here for you. So a good chunk of your work is done, but you get to choose 8 more. So it's kind of exciting. You get to pick which classes you'd like to take. All of our courses are 3 credits, except for Journalism 4995. This capstone course is a 1-credit online course. This is the most important bullet. Make sure you follow your course overview. So it'll be different depending on what major you have, but you should be able to click right on it and it will open a PDF Google Doc that has all kinds of information related to your major. This will be super helpful in filling out the program plan. So I just recommend putting them side by side so you can toggle back and forth as you go along. And you'll notice they follow the same structure. So you'll see the courses as they appear in the program plan. But on this side, the course overview provides a lot more information. So in any of the courses, you can click on this blue link and it will open a PDF that tells you all about the course, all the assignments, what the prereqs are, what you can kind of expect, more probably than you've ever wanted to know about each of the courses. But it gives you a really good idea of what it's like to be in those classes. And then it also, most importantly, lists any prereqs. So you know right off the bat, to get into any of these courses, you need these courses. Our majors follow very strict prerequisite guidelines, so you're going to notice the rule of thumb here is make sure you're always kind of paying attention to prerequisites. It lists your context courses. So after your skills section, you'll see context courses on both sides. And then after that, it lists any courses that are offered generally in our department over the summer, any courses that our department has already approved for learning abroad. So if you have an interest in going to one of these places, you can see what kind of course you'll be able to take when you're there, so you can plan for that course over here. And then this section, choosing your courses, is a super helpful section, especially for the strategic communication and journalism majors, because there's so many different areas and there's a lot of skills courses you can pick from. And so this is kind of helpful to see what you might choose. So say I'm interested in creative advertising. Here's a list of skills courses that our faculty feel might be a good fit for that career path. And then you can go back up here and see what are the prerequisites and, read more about the courses and see if you're interested. So this is where it can take a little bit of time because you get to pick what you like. But when you're ready, you'll come back over here and you'll find under skills courses, just follow the directions. You need to make sure you take 1 4 to 5,000 level course. You need to follow the prerequisites. But in this section, you're going to pick 5 courses. And in this section, it's broken up into a couple different subsections. So one writing intensive course, and I'm going to select this one. It might take a few times to click on the box to get the X to show up, but just make sure you do see that X there. In the next section, one or two courses from the following. So say I pick two courses in this area. And I'm just picking them randomly, but you're going to make sure that they follow all the prerequisites. And then here, since I've already taken 3, I know I need to take 2 to get to my 5 total. There we go. And on the next section, select 3 courses. So 3 context courses, 1 has to be at the 4,000 to 5,000 level. So same thing, I'm just going to randomly select courses and make sure those X's show up, making sure 1 is at the 4,000 to 5,000 level. Before you move on, make sure to follow these and double check everything. So it's asking if you have the 13 total, so between what you've checked and what's circled. And then did you follow all of the sub requirements? And like I said, those might be different for each of the majors, so really follow what's listed on your form. Double check prerequisites. As you can see, they're all over here. And that was super important because you're going to need those to be able to map them out. So the same kind of thing is true for the second page of the program plan. You're going to follow all of the instructions that are listed on your document. So it's asking you to start with the semester you first took a JUR course. So for me, let's say that's Journalism 1001, and I took it in spring 21. I'm going to come down here, write spring 21, and then I'm going to add Journalism 1001. I also took one of my context courses in that semester, so I'm going to add that too. Say for fall, I take another context course, so I can add that there too. Because I know from looking at above that context courses can be taken in any semester. Some are only offered once a year, so same kind of thing. We're going to check back on here and see if any of those conflict with my plans. This is the most important part for the journalism and strategic communication parts of these timelines is the sequencing of our courses. And it'll be very clear given these which ones you're supposed to do. So I know that my first semester after I apply to the major, I need to take those 2 courses. So say that's spring 22. I'll add those courses there. And then the semester after that, I'm going to take my 32 level skills classes. Those courses aren't offered over the summer, and I know that from looking at my handbook, so I'm going to put some of those in the fall of 22. So say I'll do a couple of those in this semester. And I'll double check that those prerequisites all work so that I can take them right after I take those classes. And then in my final semester, I'm going to take Journalism 4999, which is my 1 credit capstone course. I'm going to take Journalism 4263 because that's a required skills course that's taken in your final semester. And then any of the 4,000 level skills courses that I've picked, I'm going to put there too. Now I need one more course or space for one more course. I can just hit enter and get the space for that one too. So what I'm doing is I'm filling out, and now I'm going to make sure that I go through. Looks like I'm missing my final context course, so maybe I'm going to add that here. So you want to make sure that you list all 13 journalism courses and that they're sequenced out so that they fit with the prerequisites, they fit with the sequence, and that you're good to go. I'm going to go ahead and save that. Then I'm going to save the whole thing. My final step is to save it as a PDF, which is required to submit it. So I'm going to go to Save As. This is how it looks on mine, PDF. And make sure the title stays the same. Last name, first name, program plan. And then I'm just going to double check, open that PDF and double check that I have all my check marks, my name is there, all 13 classes are selected, and all 13 classes are mapped out. And when you have that, you are good to go. You can upload that right to the online application. Let me know if you have any questions. My information is on the main website.